Okay, we're gonna do a quick crash course on Cuddles and Hammerlocks. Cuddles and Hammerlocks are essentially the same move, but like inverses of each other, where you're just sort of executing it like in like an opposite direction situation. I'm gonna teach Hammerlocks, not necessarily because I think you're gonna want to do them, but because sometimes you'll end up doing a cuddle and kind of realizing you have the wrong hand or you're going the wrong direction, and you'll end up doing a hammerlock, and I don't want it to be like a panic situation. So a cuddle, there's closed cuddles and open cuddles. A closed cuddle is where you end up kind of wrapped up and side by side, right? So if you notice, she's wrapped up, she's like hugging her torso almost, right? And I'm by her side. An open cuddle is gonna be like the opposite, where we're really open. Her arms are out instead of crossed, yeah? Primary difference here is that in a closed cuddle, we're starting in our normal open position where my left is in her right and my right is in her left, right? And then she can come into my side, come into my other side, right? The open cuddle, our hands are crossed, right? So I have left and left, right and right. And I'm gonna pull her into my side. I'm gonna go over that a little more clearly. So for a closed cuddle, where we're in regular open position, our hands aren't crossed. To get her into my, like a cuddle, I'm just gonna take one of her hands and bring it towards my opposite shoulder, basically. So right now it's my right hand, her left hand. I'm gonna bring it towards my left shoulder. And then she's gonna come into my left shoulder, right? For the other hand, I'm gonna bring my left hand, her right hand, towards my right shoulder. So whichever hand comes to the opposite shoulder, and she follows and comes to my side, right? She's always following her hand because of all the things we talked about earlier. To get out of this, I can lift up the outside hand or the top hand and just give her a nudge with my elbow to turn her back out. Or I could let go of this top hand altogether and just give a nudge and she can come back out of that, right? To do an open cuddle, our hands are gonna be crossed. There's a couple ways to do this, that'll be a different video, but our hands are gonna be crossed. So my hands are crossed, then all I'm gonna do is lift up the top hand and pull on the bottom hand. Pull her into my shoulder, and I could send her back out. And if our hands were the opposite, I would lift up on the top hand and pull on the other bottom hand, right? And you can switch shoulders with this and play around with that, right? To get out of this, it can feel a little awkward. It's really easy though, because you can just drop one of the hands and maybe do a little turn and then switch hands at the very end of it, right? So I went from having her like right and right to, as she's coming out of that turn, I'm just gonna drop that into my other hand. And it's pretty easy to switch back into an open position, right? Now we're in the same position we were earlier. So again, cuddle, close cuddle, I'm gonna take one of the hands and bring it into the opposite shoulder, and then she ends up on my side, right? And I might have to move to meet her a little bit there, but not by a lot. So one hand, opposite shoulder. But if our hands are crossed when we start, then we're gonna do an open cuddle. And I'm gonna pick up the top hand and pull on the bottom hand, right? So pick up the top hand, pull on the bottom hand towards the shoulder of like the arm that it is, right? Open cuddle. This gets a little bit complicated because sometimes if you're doing a regular cuddle, you're gonna end up accidentally like pulling on the same hand and shoulder, closed cuddle. So instead of pulling on one hand, bringing it to the opposite shoulder to do that cuddle, if I do the opposite and I pick up a hand and like start pulling towards that shoulder, I'm gonna end up here, right? This is an actual move. So if you start doing that and you're like, oh, that's not what I meant to do, just make sure that like Victoria's hand her palm is up, right? Because if it's down, then you're gonna do that and you're gonna have like her arm is gonna get broken basically. Like her shoulder is gonna hurt. But if her elbow is out, then her arm can tuck behind her shoulder, right? So you want palm up, elbow up, so the arm can tuck behind. Otherwise, you end up with your elbow locked and you can't move that way. So palm up, elbow up. We can do this hammerlock. We could even keep turning to face each other and we can come out of it. You can do that the other direction too, right? So you can keep turning to look at each other. So if you do that, even if it's unintentional, it is a real move and it's very easy to reverse. Because once you're in that hammerlock, all you would do is either, once again, pick up the top arm, pull on the bottom arm, or let go of the top arm, pull on the bottom arm, and come out of it. So close cuddle, hand opposite shoulder into the side. Open cuddle, arms crossed, top hand comes up, pull on the bottom hand. Or hammerlock, still back in open position, no crossed arms. Hand up, pull, palm up. Like that. You can also do a hammerlock from crossed, and it's just basically whatever arm you're pulling on, instead of pulling it up to your shoulder, right? You would pick up the top arm and flip the palm and pull on that hand. So you're gonna tuck that one behind their back, just so that you have options. So I know that was a little convoluted, but there's a lot of things that you can do from there.